In a quiet village in Nigeria, a young girl lost her mother, and her father soon remarried. But no one knew that this new wife carried a heart darker than the night. The village was the kind where every household knew the other. In the mornings, women carried clay pots to the stream, men went to the farms with their hoes slung across their shoulders, and children filled the dusty paths with laughter. In one compound, a man named Obinna lived with his only daughter, Amara. Amara was a gentle soul, respectful to elders, quick to help, and full of kindness that drew affection from everyone in the village. But fate had not been kind to her. Her mother passed away when she was still very young, leaving her with only memories of warmth and care. Obinna, like many men, could not bear the loneliness of an empty household. So after some years, he took another wife. The woman was named Nneka. She was beautiful, graceful in her steps, and seemed to have all the charms of a good wife. At first, the villagers whispered that Obinna was lucky to have found her. But behind that smile, hidden in the depths of her heart, lay envy and cruelty. For she saw Amara not as a child in need of love, but as a rival. And what the stepmother planned for Amara would shake the entire household. At first, Nneka pretended to be kind. She cooked, fetched water, and even laughed with Amara. But as days turned into weeks, her mask began to slip. She noticed how Obinna's eyes softened whenever Amara spoke, how he would save the best portion of food for his daughter, how the villagers praised Amara's manners. And slowly, a seed of jealousy grew inside her. She began with small cruelties. One evening, she served food to everyone in the family but gave Amara only the burnt scraps from the bottom of the pot. "Eat this quickly," she said sharply. "A child like you doesn't need too much." Another time, she sent Amara to fetch firewood from the thick forest, giving her instructions that no child could complete before nightfall. "Do not return until you have gathered enough wood to last 2 weeks," she commanded. Amara obeyed, struggling under the heavy load until her arms ached, but still she kept quiet. Nneka was not done. She whispered lies into Obinna's ears. "Your daughter disrespected me today," she would say. She refused to help with chores. But Obinna, blinded by trust in his wife, dismissed Amara's quiet protests. The villagers began to notice. They saw the once cheerful girl growing thin, her eyes dim with sadness. Some murmured to each other at the stream, "That new wife is not treating the girl well." But no one dared to confront Nneka. Still, Nneka was not satisfied. She wanted Amara out of the way completely. So one night, she walked quietly to the edge of the forest, where the shadows grew thick, and sought the help of an old herbalist. She whispered her plans to him, offering gifts for charms that would end Amara's life. But the herbalist warned her, "Be careful, woman. Evil done to an innocent child does not go unpunished." Yet her heart was hardened. But the stepmother was not satisfied with small cruelty. She wanted Amara gone forever. Nneka's hatred reached its peak. She devised a plan that would rid her of Amara once and for all. One afternoon, she handed the girl a small calabash. "Go to the deepest part of the forest," she said, "and fetch me the water from the sacred stream. Do not return until you have done so." The villagers knew no child ever went that deep into the forest alone. Strange sounds echoed from its heart, and elders often warned children to stay away. But Amara, obedient as always, began the long walk with trembling steps. As she entered the forest, the trees grew taller, the paths narrower, and the silence heavier. Just as fear threatened to overwhelm her, she heard the flutter of wings. A white bird landed before her, its feathers shining against the darkness. It chirped and flew a short distance ahead, pausing as if waiting for her. Trusting the sign, Amara followed. The bird led her safely through the winding paths until she reached the sacred stream. As she bent to fill her calabash, she whispered, "If my mother watches me from the spirit world, may she protect me." And somehow, the water filled quickly, cool and clear. When she returned, tired but safe, Nneka's eyes widened with shock. She had expected never to see the girl again. Instead of joy, her heart hardened further. That night, as Amara slept, Neka muttered under her breath, "This child must not live another day." And so the suspense deepened. Would Amara survive her stepmother's next plan? Would her father ever see the truth? If you were Amara, would you tell your father or keep silent? Neka's final plan was bold. She prepared a pot of soup and laced it with poison meant only for Amara. With a false smile, she called, "Come, child, eat. You must regain your strength." Amara lifted her spoon, but before she could taste it, a neighbor, Mama Ifioma, walked into the compound. She had seen Neka earlier at the herbalist's hut and grew suspicious. The sharp scent from the soup reached her nose, and she cried out, "Stop! Do not eat that food." Obinna, alarmed, rushed forward. Mama Ifioma explained all she had witnessed, the secret visits, the whispers, the herbs. At first, Obinna could not believe it. But when the soup was tested by another elder, its deadly secret was revealed. The truth burst forth like a dam broken. Obinna turned to Neka, his face dark with anger and pain. "You tried to kill my daughter? After all I have given you?" The villagers gathered, their voices rising in outrage. The stepmother's schemes were laid bare before the community. Neka was disgraced. By the judgment of the elders, she was banished from the village, forbidden to return. Alone and shamed, she walked away into the wilderness, her beauty now worthless without a good heart. Amara was restored to peace. Her father, filled with regret, embraced her and promised never to doubt her again. The villagers, who had always admired her, now cherished her even more. And so life slowly returned to normal. The compound once filled with sadness began to echo again with laughter and warmth. Evil may triumph for a while, but the truth always shines in the end. Wickedness never builds a lasting home. What lesson do you think we should learn from this story? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more African folktales.